This was Andap, a Philippine hillside village. When Super Typhoon Bopha struck, flash floods brought landslides and debris down on the community that lived here.
This thing begins literally miles from here and continues past this spot and goes down into the city of New Bataan. It all occurred in the middle of the night. Nobody had any idea that there would be a debris flow, anything like this. Behind me we have a list of all the persons that were either missing or found deceased. A number that totals well over 600.
During the months that followed, ShelterBox volunteers distributed enough aid to provide over 1,200 families with emergency shelter. 8 months after the initial disaster, ShelterBox staff returned to Mindanao. This time, it was to meet with community leaders and beneficiaries themselves to discuss the real impact ShelterBox and its donors had on their lives.
So this was an evaluation trip, which is something that's increasingly important as we go forward that we do. So by going back into the field and talking to people, we can find out whether the aid that we gave them was what they needed. It's not enough just to give out boxes and to do it quickly. We need to go back and talk to people, because by talking to them we can learn, and by learning we can improve what we do.
ShelterBox's new chief executive, Alison Wallace, was part of the team that met up with beneficiaries and took part in the study.
We're in the middle of one of the camps set up by ShelterBox back in December. There's 40 families and tents left here out of more than 100. These people are still waiting to be relocated. There's real issues around whether they can clear land and whether they can afford to rebuild, and the access to building materials. People are still here, still in ShelterBox tents, over 6 months after the original typhoon. So that clearly speaks to the quality of the equipment that we're providing people in the ShelterBoxes.
With a rare chance to revisit a deployment, John Cordell is happy to see some friendly faces moving on with their lives.
So this was a situation where the Pseudo family had 4 families living out of the one house. One daughter, her husband, had recently suffered a stroke. The other daughter was pregnant and soon to give birth. And so both families were given the space of a ShelterBox tent to conduct their lives away from the crowd.
As a charity, it's really important that we're accountable, and we can ask ourselves 3 questions. Are we doing what we'd said we'd do? Are we making a difference? And are we doing the right things operationally and strategically? And it's only by going back into the field that we can get the answers to these questions.
For more information, visit www.shelterbox.org.